Are you hopeful of getting Jeremy Perry back soon, or does it just continue to be week to week with him?
Well, I'm very hopeful of getting him back, but I think at best you could say week to week, and I would not anticipate him being back this week.
The report from the doctor he visited, have you heard yet? Is
well, they're going to go kind of plan 1A, Paul, on a treatment plan. You know, they've kind of taken it from where it is and made a it's not too much of a different plan, but a renewed plan about what the treatment would be, and then we'll see how he responds to that.
Do you get a discount on all the guys on treatment plans, or no?
No. Sometimes I wish that would be the case.
A couple years ago, Boise State, Darlin, LaRock, Doggett, pretty bad game. People are all over their performance.
Yeah.
But you're able to show them on film kind of technical things. Is it similar with these three new linebackers and the post-PSU kind of?
I think that's a very good point. And I think that, you know, when I look back at that game, I think we use that Boise State game for a ton of examples about playing good team defense and good run defense and what it really takes against a team that's very efficient blocking. I mean, you know, you make a mistake and you go inside a block instead of outside of a block, or vice versa, whatever you're supposed to do, they take advantage of it. And so when a team like Penn State is very crisp and you're not, then you get gashed. And hopefully you can use that for teaching and improve that as you go.
Keenan Lewis had a pretty good game last week stopping the pass. What can you say about his development over the few years he's been here?
He's had a very good start to the year, Keenan has. I think that, you know, he's really developed his skills and his confidence in that position through the years. It's been fun to see, and I think that he's now played a lot of football, and gaining that experience and having that confidence at that position is a major factor in being good there. You know, I think you have to start with the tools athletically, because they're unique tools that you have to play cornerback, and I think he's enhanced those with his knowledge of the position and how to play.
And how about the overall secondary in the first couple of games? It's probably going to be tested this week, so how do you think they're playing?
Well, I think that this will be a big test. You know, Hawaii will spread you out and isolate you, and so I think that you know, it will be a major test of overall defense, because the defense will be more spread out than normal with the formations Hawaii uses, and so again, the responsibility that you have within the defense will be crucial, because there'll be a lot of one-on-one type situations.
And then just with the pass rush this week, is there any adjustments to try to get more pressure on the quarterback, or is it kind of read and see how it goes? Well,
the game plan will both include you know, your basic rushes and your blitz rush, you know, your blitzing game. So, you know, the mixture of those two have always been important in pass defense, and really been a big factor in success we've had defensively. So, you know, you're never going to be able to, you know, just probably see one thing or do one thing in a ball game. When you do go with 4 men, you'd like to be able to say that if you get good coverage, that your 4-man pressure can get there, and if you pressure, then you'd like to say your pressure would allow you to cover them a little bit tighter and make it hard to throw. I mean, those two things are very simple put together, but that's really how it's played.
Mike, they're going to have their third different starting quarterback. I guess Grunke came in and played pretty well. Is he a lot different than the other guys? Do they do anything different? How have they changed from June Jones?
You know what, I think structurally, if you watched them and you just saw them, for the most part, you would say no, they have not changed, and there's a lot of the same stuff that they run. They've added a little bit. They go under the center somewhat in the goal line area, you know, where they run a, you know, a much more conventional 2 or 3 tight end set down there. Obviously for goal line power situations, but when you see him out in the field, you'll see the June Jones offense that we've seen before. I mean, similar patterns and similar running plays that they've run. The shovel passes there, all that stuff. So, Structurally, it looks the same. And of course, Coach McMackin has coached the defense there, so their structure of defense is somewhat the same too.
You kind of mentioned this, but when you look at statistically offense, are you the turnovers, the third down numbers versus opponents? Is there a stat that's you'd like to see really changed right now that would impact the outcomes?
Well, I think, you know, turnovers are always a big factor in ball games, and then I think, you know, the ability to convert third downs and keep things going are also a good indicator, and then how effective you are scoring touchdowns in the red zone are also big. You know, I think that, you know, there's red zone stats that can be misleading because the touchdowns are a big factor when you're down there, as we found out against Stanford. So, you know, I think there's a bunch of things that are telling, one of which is not time of possession necessarily. I mean, that's an overrated stat in my book. But it's how effective you are in those situations that I think that are big, and the turnover thing has always been a big deal. And then major plays in the kicking game. You know, it's hard to recover, you know, block punts in a game. You know, it's those kinds of things, touchdowns off of a return. Those are also major factors in games.